YouTube, it's Nerdcat, and welcome to Nerdtastic Halloween. It's back! Yes, so this is my favorite time of year, where I bring 7 Halloween makeups, 3 full costumes, and the rest are just face makeup that you guys can take and do with what you like. I decided to start this year off with a gory bang with a missing eye prosthetic look. So yes, this is a full prosthetic that I got at Party City, and it's really easy to use. If you don't feel like using a prosthetic, I do have a video that I will link in the description below from last year where I did a missing eye look, but I used only cotton and latex. So if you don't feel like using a prosthetic, you can always use that route. Anyway, let's stop talking and get into this video. I'll see you there. So let's get started. Now, the prosthetic that I'm using for this look is the See No Evil prosthetic that I got at Party City. It technically comes as a full eye mask, but I cut it in half to make it a little easier for myself to apply. This mask also kind of comes with a black sheet over the eyes, so you didn't have to paint your eyes black. But I took those sheets out because they were bothering me when I had the mask on. It kind of like messed with my eyes, so I took it out. But that's a personal preference. You can do whatever you like. First, I'm going to take my Wolfe Effects water activated paints, and I'm going to take a light color, I chose gray, to outline the prosthetic. This way I can see where the prosthetic is going to lay. So I did all around the prosthetic as well as inside the eye socket. So that way I can see where it would lay and also color in my eyes so that I can have it completely blacked out. Did it on both sides because I cut this in half. Now, going in with my Wolfe Effects aqua paints, I'm just kind of blacking out my eyes. I'm putting mostly black, and then I go in with some reds and just kind of make my eyes dark and kind of match the same color as the actual prosthetic. The prosthetic itself has a kind of like, well, irritated skin look, so it's reds and blacks. So I'm just kind of matching that for the inside of my eye. So I'm going in with some red now, and then I kind of sponge it out so that it covers the entire eye socket. More red on the top of my lid, just so when I do close my eyes to get a photo or anything like that, it looks kind of like that red spot right in the center. It looks like the gaping hole of your eye socket. I'm going to take Spirit Gum, which is a prosthetic adhesive, and I'm painting it around the edges of the prosthetic. A thing with Spirit Gum is I know that my skin is fine with Spirit Gum, but if you're not sure, always test it on a small spot like your wrist to see how you would react to it. Spirit Gum can only be removed with Spirit Gum remover, so always make sure you have both. So I applied it to the edges of the prosthetic, waited until it got tacky, and then applied it to my face. I moved the prosthetic so that it wasn't touching my eyebrow. If you were going to do this prosthetic and your eyebrow was like close to the edge or anything like that, I would make sure to put some washable glue over your eyebrows, because Spirit Gum can sometimes, just like liquid latex, rip out eyebrows if you're not careful. Take it from someone who knows. But all I'm doing is touching up the corners, making sure all of the edges are laying down with the Spirit Gum. Went in with some liquid latex and went over all of the edges to try and smooth them out a little bit. I will admit this isn't the smoothest transition, but I've never laid a prosthetic before, so gotta learn from your mistakes. When laying an edge, you definitely gotta try and smooth it out correctly. I probably should have added a couple more layers and spread it out a little farther from my face, especially in the center here where that point is. I either should have curved that point and cut it off or anything like that, but there's definitely an obvious sign of that edge. Really, all you're doing with the latex is trying to disguise that edge. I went around with the latex a couple of times just to build up that like transition, because again, you're trying to make it look like the prosthetic is part of your skin and not like you have a mask on your face. And once again, once it got tacky, I placed it, lining it up to the line that I've already drawn, so I knew exactly where to lay it. Made sure all of the sides were pushed down and in contact with my skin. And as you can already see, it's looking pretty weird and creepy, to be honest. This prosthetic really does do a great job in giving that illusion of ripped out eyes. And then once again, I'm laying more latex on the new side to try and even out that seam line. So now I'm just going in and touching up the inner eyes, just to make sure that I did cover everything that can be seen from the outside of the prosthetic. Then taking a sea sponge, I am going to kind of splatter or pat on some reds and blacks around the outer edge of the prosthetic. Again, trying to mimic the same kind of coloring that the prosthetic already had. You kind of want to just bring it out around the eyes to look like the irritated skin is throughout the face. It also just kind of works with the fact that you're walking around missing eyes. Your face is going to look a little weird. So I went in with a lot of reds and then overlaid with some blacks, as well as some purples and a couple others colors as such, just kind of blotting around the edges to try and blend them out. Now, taking some cotton balls, I'm going to make the hanging out eye, or the eye, just kind of hanging there. So I just kind of unraveled a cotton ball. You can do this by just pushing through the center and it will kind of unravel itself. And right now I'm just kind of measuring where I would like the kind of the tendon from the eye socket, or veins, whatever that's called, and then where the eyeball is. Trying to see where on the face I kind of want it to hang. Making a missing eyeball is actually pretty easy. I followed how to do it from Mikey at Glam and Gore. Really, you're just getting a cotton ball and some liquid latex, which is my favorite way to make any kind of prosthetic or extra thing. And to make the kind of hanging vein or tendon, first you're just going to take a long strip of cotton and you're going to roll it into a tight kind of coil, kind of like the whole thing in liquid latex. And then for the eyeball, you kind of assume how big you want the eyeball, and then once again make it into a ball, cover it in liquid latex, and make sure it's completely covered. Then of course attach the two together. It's actually really simple to do and gives off the same cool, creepy effect of losing an eye. Here I'm just seeing how long I wanted it and so on. With the eyeballs, I actually, and the tendon itself, I painted over it. The eyeballs, I added red veins and a pupil and iris and some eye shine, just to add a little extra detail. And then the tendon vein thing, I painted it with some reds and some black to kind of match the same gut kind of gore look. I just thought it would be cute to actually paint the eyes actually the same color as my eyes. And then when you're done, you'll have two really gross looking hanging eyes. It's kind of fun to play with. Then I just took my spirit gum again to try and attach the eyes to the inner part of my prosthetic. I will admit, this did not go as well as planned. There is a lot of back and forth with these eyes, to be honest. As you can see, I did make two of them, but only one made it to the final product, which actually looks better, but, well, this was a struggle. In all honesty, I don't think I waited long enough for the spirit gum to get tacky, or I had too much makeup on the prosthetic, or so on and so forth, and the spirit gum was just not holding. But that's kind of my own fault. What I probably should have done was wipe away where I wanted to put the spirit gum of paint so that it was a clear spot, and then added it. But I ended up getting it to stick for at least one of them, which did make the look look really cool with just the one hanging and the one missing. I also kind of added a little bit of liquid latex trying to get that eyeball to stick. It was quite a process. Here's where I thought I had it stuck, and then bam. I went back and forth with these eyeballs a lot during this look. It was so frustrating not to get that other one on. So I kept trying, as you can see, over and over again, trying to attach this damn eyeball, but it just wasn't having it. I did go in with some stage blood and just bloodied up everything. I filled the inside of the prosthetic where my eye was and poured it down the eye tendon, making sure that was all gooey and gross. Went around the eye a little bit,
mostly just kind of having it pour out of the eye socket, since that is where most of the blood would be coming from. And I just tried to make it as bloody and gross as possible. As you can see again, this eye was really putting up a fight. But I made sure to drip down the blood, and made sure everything kind of looked uneven and just literally a bloody mess is what I was going for. Here's where I just gave up on it. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna move on. Add some more blood. Because you can never go wrong with more blood. That's the best thing. I think the blood actually helped a lot of the seams. Because, you know, you just saw blood. And then I just messed up my hair to make me look a mess, literally.
A super easy and really gross looking missing eye prosthetic look. I hope you guys enjoyed this first video of Nerdtastic Halloween for this year. If you did, please hit that like button. If you want to see more, I have 6 more videos coming up. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're so inclined, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. Well, anyway, from me and Mr. Bones, see you next time. And as always, stay nerdy, my friends. Later!